All right, all right, all right, all right. Shut your fucking mouth. All right. So, fucking, a lot of people have been requesting story time with Uncle Stitches. A lot of good friends of mine too, and so I thought I'd make one. They're not always funny, but I mean sometimes they got a good point of view. Um, so anyway, or well, probably a very different point of view than what 90% of the people are used to. So I thought I would tell you guys about why I ask for cash in hand when somebody shows up and wants to buy a motorcycle from me and they want to take it out on a test drive. So I had a fucking and honestly, if you're ever selling a car, I would ask for cash in hand if they want to take a test drive before, or you be in control of the vehicle. So anyway, fucking this 19-year-old fucking kid stops by my house, right? I got a Ninja 250 for sale. No, it was a 300. I had a Ninja 300 for sale, and it was one of those deals where it wasn't, I didn't have my name on it. You know, I never signed my name on the back of the title, so all he had to do was put his name on the back of the title and it was his. So he's like, does it start? And I was like, yeah. He's like, can I listen to it? I was like, yeah, sure, man. I stuck the key in, turned it over. He's walking around, he's looking at it. I could tell he's fucking fascinated with the thing. And he's like, dude, can I take it for a test drive? And I was like, not without an ID, buddy. So he gave me his fucking driver's license. And so he takes off on a bike. And he doesn't even make it out of my neighborhood before I could hear it in the distance, just that. He dropped the bike. The bike shut off. I don't know why, but it did. So he walked it back to my house. And I'm standing out there smoking cigarettes. I'm like, man, I hope that fucking scrape against the ground wasn't my bike. And this fucking little shithead who pulled up in like a $35,000, $40,000 Jeep, rich parents, fucking is walking my bike down the street. He turns the corner and starts walking my bike down, and I'm like, oh my fucking God. And I just start cussing and screaming at this fucking kid, and he's just like, oh my God, you know, I can't believe I've got to bring this dude back his bike. He looks like he's about to fucking kill me. I mean, hell, I must have looked like a goddamn rabid gorilla at the end of this fucking street. I mean, dude, I was fucking foaming at the mouth and everything, dude. But I was cussing so hard I had fucking spit just flying out of my mouth. And so he walks back up and he's like, dude, I dropped your bike, man. And I was like, I see that. And I was like, so what are we going to do about this? And he was like, well, I don't know what you want me to do, dude. I didn't bring any of the cash with me. I was like, what? He's like, well, I wanted to make sure I wanted to buy it first before I went and got the cash. And I was like, dude, have you ever even been on a motorcycle before? And he said, no, this was my first time. And I said, I'm hanging on to this ID. And I was like, get the fuck out of my face. He's like, dude, I need my ID back. And I said, I can't give it to you right now. I said, you'll get it back, but I can't give you your ID right now until I figure out what I'm going to do. So he gets in his Jeep, drives off. Like 20 minutes later, I get this text message from that kid. And he's like, hey, I just talked to my dad, and he said it is illegal. You have to give me my driver's license back. It's illegal. And I said, well, you can tell your dad that you're going to get your driver's license back. It's just going to be on my terms. And So unfortunately, it happened like at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night that this shit happened. But fucking, I had to go to work the next day, so I woke up. I went to work. I told all the fellas what happened, and everybody was giving me all sorts of creative ideas, on how to deal with this situation. And I was like, I didn't ask for your opinions, but I'll listen to them. I didn't go with any other plans. I went with my original plan. So I showed up at his parents' house. He was living with his parents. And it was like a little bit after 5 o'clock. I just gotten off of work. And I pulled into a pretty nice neighborhood, and they lived at the end of this cul-de-sac, and they had some pretty decent houses with some pretty big lawns and shit. And I'm seeing their kid mowing those lawns. And like his lawn was mowed, the next door neighbor's was mowed, everybody in that cul-de-sac's lawn was mowed. Every single fucking person. Except for what he was trying to finish. So anyway, I knock on the door and his dad answers, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, are you the guy my son dropped his bike yesterday? And I was like, yeah. And my approach to this situation was, I had fucking brass knuckles on me. I had switchblades. I had all sorts of tools that would make my job a very fun time if it had to be. And, we could easily come up with some creative ideas to figure out a way for your son to pay for this brand new bike that he just destroyed. And so he's like, I was like, is that your son behind you mowing those lawns? And he's like, yeah. That, like, I didn't have that, I didn't say that to him, but that was my approach to this situation. Was if I've got to go in there and, smack a few people around until I get my money, that's how I'm going to do it. And how ugly it gets is up to them. Either way, I'm leaving with my money. So that was the level of anger that I was on when I walked up to that door, and I turned around. But so I didn't have that conversation with him, but I was like, is that your son mowing all them lawns? And he's like, oh yeah, he's got a pretty big debt to pay. And I was like, wow, cool. And he's like, how much were you wanting for that bike? And it was an older bike, and it was used with a salvage title. But it was in really good shape. Like all the plastics had been completely replaced. It was a nice looking bike. But I was like, dude, I think I was only asking like $1,500 for the bike. And I was like, $1,500 is what I need. He's like, well, I tell you what, I'm going to go have my wife pick up the rest of the $1,500 that we don't have in cash, and I'll just give you cash for it when she gets back. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And then he turns around and he's like, oh, hey, by the way, dude, I'm cooking hamburgers, man. You want one? And the dude, like, invited me in and was like, we sat there and had a conversation and shit. And he was like, listen, dude, I'll be honest with you. I mean, after we got done bullshitting around and kind of laughing now, he was like, listen, dude, my son, worked for 2 summers and he saved up money and he thinks he's going to buy a motorcycle. And I was like, yeah, it's, sometimes you gotta let them do what they gotta do, you know what I mean? Like, when do you let go? You know what I mean? And he's like, no, you don't understand. My son is a fucking idiot. He's like, I don't want him on a motorcycle. I know he's gonna wreck it and it'll probably kill him. And I was just thinking about him dropping my bike, and I was thinking to myself, oh, how terrible that would be. So anyway, he's like, when we give you the cash, we're gonna stop by this weekend to pick up the bike. He's like, is there any way that you could fucking like destroy it so he can't ride it? And I was like, seriously? He's like, yeah. And I was like, Man, that's pretty fucked up. You got him out there working to pay off this bike, and when he gets it, it ain't gonna run. He's like, you don't understand, dude. You would literally be saving a life. And I was like, all right, dude. I mean, if that's what you want me to do, so shit. I went home, I put bleach in the fucking gas tank, I turned the thing on, let the thing run out my driveway until the fucking engine exploded. I mean, fuck, I got my money. You know, they were super fucking nice to me. You know, when you show up to people's houses, I'm expecting them to try and argue with me. You know, I don't just expect them to just reach out with open arms and be like, you know, not only do I got you paid, do you want fucking dinner? You know what I mean? It's like, wow. You don't run across people like that too often. So anyway, that is why if you ever sell anything online and people are coming by to look at it, if they want to take it out for a test drive, motorcycle or car, always ask for cash in hand before they leave with that car. It's okay if they want to see it turn on, or if they want to follow you and watch you drive it around because you're not going to fuck it up. But if somebody asks for a test drive, you say cash in hand. And if you drop my bike or if anything happens to my motorcycle, realize this cash is mine and that bike is yours. You know what I mean? Like, have that verbal conversation with them. You know what I mean? Just let them know the fucking rules if they want to take your shit out on a test drive. And if they're like, dude, I don't have cash in hand, just be like, that's okay. You can see this bike ride, but it's going to be a different way. You're going to have to follow me in your car. I'll take it to a country road. I'll rip it all the way to the fucking last gear it's got so that you can see this is a fucking monster. And, you know, we can go from there. So, anyway, helpful advice. I will come up with some funny ass creative content. I've got a lot of free time lately. So, there are going to be more story time with Uncle Stitches, I promise. And they're going to be fucking hilarious. But it just hit, you know, I was selling a motorcycle today, and I was thinking about that situation because I got a Kawasaki ZZR 600 up for sale. And there's this fucking chick who's been like die hard about my bike since the day I put it up for sale. And first she was trying to trade me a truck, and it was a nice looking truck. So I asked what was wrong with it, and there were too many problems with it that it would be a waste of my time. So she was like, well, I'm trying to sell this thing for parts right now. She's like, I don't have the money that you're asking for, but let me see what I can do by this Friday. Friday rolled around, she didn't have the cash. She was like super fucking bummed out. And I was like, listen, I'll keep you posted. Right now, I'm really not accepting less than what I'm asking for, because if people can't pay that, they can't even afford a bike. I mean, at that point, if you're that low, you know what I mean? So, anyway, fucking, I got to looking at her picture because I listed it as a stunt bike, and that's exactly what it is. It's got dual disc front brakes, which front brake handling is excessively important, and rolling burnouts and stoppies and a lot of different tricks that you do on a stunt bike. And that's exactly what this motorcycle was to me. That's what I was selling it as, was a stunt bike. And here she is, a picture of her and her daughter. And I'm thinking to myself, what in the fuck would a mom want with a 600cc fucking stunt bike? This doesn't make any sense. Like, I was thinking, I hope she doesn't have some dumbass fucking son, because I'm done dealing with young people. Like, when I sell fucking motorcycles, if they're not 25 years old or above, I'm not even going to fucking talk to them, dude. I get so fucking, after that whole incident, dude, I get so frustrated with people so fucking quick. And like, for those of you who I'm friends with on Facebook, like, you've seen posts of the way that I talk to people who are asking me stupid questions when I'm trying to sell things. I mean, dude, I am fucking ruthless with them. Like, I fucking, I don't just tear them down. I rip the fucking soul out of their neck. I mean, but yeah. So, oops, I almost slung out of my hands at a very opportunistic time. But yeah, there will be, I'm getting better at flipping, and that's kind of what I was waiting for, to make story time with Uncle Stitches again, was getting better at flipping during my videos so that I'm doing more intricate shit as I'm talking. But so many people have been asking for story time with Uncle Stitches that I'm like, okay, I need to give them something. You know what I mean? Like, okay. So I thought I'd tell this story, guys. I'm going to get some sleep. Hopefully y'all can get some sleep too. I know this world's a bitch. Good luck tomorrow. All right, peace.